Let's give him some food. Here, you have a ration of bread and cheese from your bag and give it to the beggar. The beggar nods. You are kind, stranger. Thank you for that. I'll make it last. Stuffs his bread into his tunic, where it looks like some awful growth. Beggar beams up at you. It won't last? Look after yourself. You say, preparing to walk away. Wait! He calls. One moment, please. To scrabble around, feeling over his body as if looking for holes. Eventually cries, ah! Pulls out a copper key, which he hands to you. Which he holds out to you. What is that? Years ago, I lived in Kar, he explains. Kar was my home in the city port. I watched over the prisoners in the Geol. Beware the red eyes and care, or my fate will befall you, and you'll be here with me, begging for your living. What are the red eyes? Pray you never find out. It's a simple reply. Listen to me, Kar is wary of strangers. This key will help you if you're captured by the red eyes. Trust old me. The man talks. You step quickly out of the road as an ox cart whips past you, raising dust. It does not stop. Let's take the key. Take the key and put it safely in your pack. Thank you, you say, and then move on. You follow the path away from the village for half of the morning. The walk is easy. It feels natural as breathing to have the road move up beneath your feet. Hard to believe you trained for this journey so long and now you are on it. You climb a little, tracing at the side of a group of trees until you reach a fork in the road. You continue straight upward or turn west a while. I just said I wanted to avoid the trees. I still want to avoid them. I want to look at... Oh, it's a key. Just generic copper key. If I'm captured by the red eyes, that is what is for me. Interesting little swivel there. Continue along the path, climbing. Your legs feel strong and lean. By the end of this journey, you will be built like a mountain goat. Meh. The afternoon progresses, long and easy. This place you are walking through seems thick with desolation, as if it was long ago abandoned. And then, as if to confirm your thought, you come across two enormous stone pillars, listing slightly to either side of the road. They form a gate, but the gate is 3 times the height of a man. Look them over. Peering closely, you can see the faded remains of carved characters in the old script, L and K. The remnant of a spell of fortune, perhaps, or the binding for these now fallen stones? Let's go through. L-U-K, maybe? Spell? There is nothing for it but to go forwards, through the gate. Step in the shadow of the enormous gate. The ruins of walls line the path on either side. But these are built from blocks the size of ox carts. Centuries ago, this must have been a palace of a king 12 feet tall. Now it has been leveled, and the stone stolen for field walls and foundations for all the villages around. Let's investigate. Take a moment to clamber out over the ruins and off the path until you're surrounded by waist-high grasses. Don't walk into the grass, we learned about this already. The ground rises and falls sharply around the outlines of houses and buildings. You trace the line of the street wide enough to run 3 carts abreast that leads quickly downhill into towards a forest. Once this place was rich and plentiful. What happened here to remove every last trace of these colossal people? Let's look inside a house. Stop by the edge of a house. The side wall only stands as high as your knees. Grass nods above it. Looking inside, you can make out the edges of a fireplace, the back wall and adjoining area, perhaps a grain store or a bedroom? Let's search in the grass. Take a few moments to search through the long grasses and find nothing, until your hand closes on a clay pot near the one wall. It's the shape of a wine jug, about 3 times the usual size. Around the neck is a red stain. Wine, or maybe blood. It's impossible to tell. The base of the pot has been smashed away, perhaps by age, perhaps by someone unhappy with its contents. You leave the pot behind. Let's follow the street down. This goes towards the forest, right? You follow the line of the street down the slope of the hill. The further you go from this path, the more overgrown the ruins become, until you can barely make out the outlines at all. After a while, you are not following the street, but simply holding to the same line. Approach the edge of a thick woodland. Do I really want... I've been avoiding the forest this whole time. I have had 2 opportunities to enter the trees at this point, and I still don't want to. Let's just turn around and go back up. Path crosses over a low, broken wall, then rises sharply uphill through a pass. After a while, you see 2 cave mouths, one to the left of the path and another to the right. The left-hand cave, the right-hand cave, and carry on. Let's poke our nose in the left-hand cave. Left-hand cave is a little wider at the mouth, but it's also not deep and appears to be empty. Rubble covers the floor, along with a few items that suggest someone lived here. Huge broken stool, a net with wide mesh, and a large human-shaped skull the size of a dog. This place was clearly home to a giant. Let's investigate. Still, by the look of the skull, it seems the giant is long gone, so it should be safe to look around. Let's look at the skull. Take up the giant's skull. There is no trace of flesh remaining on the bone. The eye sockets are dull and empty. No one has lived here. No one has lived here in this skull for a long time. Top of the skull has been knocked about a bit. There's a crack in the top, and most of the teeth are missing. Let's examine the top. There's a dent at the very top. This giant was probably done in by a mace or a club, or else a falling rock. Examine the teeth. Only 2 teeth left in the jaw. Let's pull the teeth loose. Use the tip of your sword to pry a couple of giant's teeth free and slip them into your pack. That's important, because this yob requires a tooth of a giant. When cast, it will summon a new giant, whom the caster may control. The giant will then disappear when his duty is done. So we got a giant we have 2 giants, basically. They're waiting in the wings. Let's look at the stool. Next, you turn your attention to the stool. It's made from the lower branches of an ash tree, braced together with joint pins the size of your forearm. And before the stool broke, it could probably have borne the weight of several cattle. It's broken now, and no use to you. There's no way you could carry it far. Let's take it anyway. The stool, who knows? It might prove to be important. There's no way you could carry it far, but I'm gonna carry it anyway. You can't stop me. The giant stool and the locket. Let's look at the net. Finally, you look at the net. The squares are so large a rabbit or deer would be able to run straight through. They're small enough that they could catch an animal of about your size. That'd have to be a pretty small deer. I guess there are pretty small deer out there. Not the deer around where I live, though. Of course, you'd cut your way out of such a trap in a moment. Let's take the net. Seen enough. You turn and leave the cave, but you're almost collapsed under the weight of the stool already. You put it down again. Ah, too heavy. Let's look at the other cave. That cave was useful. Sling wind. Let's go further in. Oh, it's a giant. It's a foot. Giant slowly rubs its eyes and gets to its feet. It hoists up a massive stone club. I could definitely make myself big. Right? No. B U. No, D. B. That is a D. I want this B right here. Thank you. Growing. You cast a spell and wait. Slowly the ground moves away from you. You are growing larger. The giant watches in dumb disbelief as you grow to match his size. You draw your sword. defend first. We both defended. The roar that shakes the rock, the giant swings his club and comes for you, determined to crack open your bones. You raise your sword to cover your enormous body. He raises his club defensively. You circle one another. His stupid eyes are watching you closely, not wanting to take a risk. So let's just do a little sideswipe. Oh, he overpowered me. Okay. Defend. It's like, if he raises his club defensively, that means he's going to attack? Lumbering in, you move in, aiming to trap the giant against the cave wall. Teasing the giant with a passing blow and wearing him down, he flicks your attack neatly away with his club. He's left breathless but otherwise unharmed. His eyes follow your movements cautiously. Expecting a storm, you raise your guard. The giant jabs with his club. You step smartly aside. You are mostly unhurt. The dim-witted eyes are watching you closely. He could, if we both went all out, he would definitely be stronger than me. Lifting your sword, you move forward. Stamping forward, you aim to skewer his heart. Giant deflects as well as he can, but doubles over in pain. And let's block that. Let's do this. Little baby tappy was given there. Still, I got walloped early on, and that was a bad move. Lumbering in, you move in. Yes. Let's just defend. I could have done him in right there. 5 stamina lost. This last noise like a gushing waterfall. Ugh. I kinda want to do that again. I know this first one is... Oh, come on, game. Really? 1 versus 1.1. Yeah, you want to block that. Okay, 4 instead of 5. I'll take it. Although that opening... got me. So he doesn't always open the same way. I just don't get any feedback on what his first move is because it's just giving me the intro. That was half the stamina I lost, though. Oh well. Mountainsides fall silent. Examine the body. And it's quite dead. His eyes stare open, his mouth is wide, mid-roar, showing his teeth. Do something about his eyes.